I'm Alex Roberts.
I'm Jared Miller.
And it's time to dangle, snipe, and stampede.
It's gone!
Welcome, everyone, back to Dangle, Snipe, and Stampede. I'm Alex Roberts.
I'm Jared Miller.
And today we have our first guest, the third member of our broadcast team, Aidan Glockner.
Hello. How's it going?
It's going very well. Glad you could be here with us.
I know. It's exciting. I've just popped in here to the booth. First time. Haven't been bickering about the NHL for about half an hour.
No.
That has not been going on. But no, it's good to be here. I've watched both of your guys' first two episodes, and I was like, gotta hop on, So here I am.
Yep. He's got a Barzy sweatshirt. Jared's got a Devils shirt on, which means only one thing. They're probably both playing tonight, and that is the case because every NHL team is in action tonight. It's the Frozen Frenzy.
I can only hope, honestly, for an overtime loss for the Islanders because I want the Avs to get that road win record. But I also want points for the Islanders, so I can only hope for an overtime loss.
Jared, you got any comments on the Devils today? They're playing the Canadiens.
Go Devils. I mean,
watch you lose,
Devils.
though.
I would be very sad, but it's okay. It's early.
Goal Caulfield?
Jack Hughes is better.
But what about Capo Caco?
No, we're not doing this. Not doing it.
What about Capo Caco, though, Jared?
No, that's a rant for another time.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so Frozen Frenzy tonight. I'm actually really excited for that. I'm going to be definitely watching. NBA season starts tonight, but who cares about that when you got hockey, honestly.
Well, a lot more millions of people. But
yeah, that is true. That is very true.
But no. I'll be checking it out and seeing. I got like 2 hours before Avs Isles, and then whenever I'm inevitably disappointed in whoever's lost that game, then there's more for the Pacific.
Yeah. So, without further ado, why don't we try and jump into what we experienced this past weekend. We didn't have an episode last week. We tried to get this booth reserved, and then it got to Thursday, and we were like, well, they were all on the road anyways. We'll do it next week. So we got a lot to cover, but I think it's only fair to start with the D1 team, the only team who has played a home game in the last 2 weeks.
And thus on our broadcasts.
Yep. So they played both Oklahoma schools in the WCHL. They were on the road against OU 2 weeks ago, probably about 10 days ago now. They won both games were shutouts. It seems to be a theme here after all the shutouts we saw a couple weeks ago. And they won one and lost one.
Yeah, I mean, going into that series, Oklahoma was undefeated, so they handed Oklahoma their first loss, which is always nice to do, like playing spoiler.
2-0 lost the year still.
Yep, 2-0 win for the Buffs, followed up by a 4-0 loss the following day. I mean, I think if you go into a team that's undefeated and split,
Well, undefeated and also top of the conference currently that Colorado's in. So definitely, that's a good point.
Also, correction, they did lose in a shootout this weekend, so they
did lose in a
2
shootout.
losses.
But only one
regulation loss, and that was to us. They're being trailed by the team that they just played, though, in UCO. So I'm excited to see what those two teams can do when they get together. But yeah, the OU series, any takeaways?
I mean, it's just nice to get a win against an undefeated team. I think it's interesting because OU was at the bottom of the conference last year, and now seeing how well they're doing, it's a pretty big turnaround. And I think it's exciting to see how competitive. We always talk about how competitive the WCHL is, and just another team added into the mix.
Yeah, we have gone to extreme lengths. They've had 7 ranked teams this season. GCU just dropped out the last one. The next rankings will come out tomorrow because we're recording this on Tuesday. So maybe they jump back in. I don't think it will. They're not doing very well, but we have 6 teams as in the top 25 right now, and that's over half the conference. And pretty much everyone in this conference is consistently in the top half of D1 year in, year out. So it's a tough conference CU's playing in.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, splitting 1-1, it's not the worst, but it's good to be able to come out of every weekend with at least one win.
Yeah, I think it's a little misleading, 8-1-1. mainly because they have played only a few WCHL conference games against us and CSU this past weekend, which they have split. So they're still having a good start to conference. They've matched their total conference wins from last season. So, I mean, they're doing a good job. But kind of like CU when they started 6-0 last season, they played a couple independent teams before they really kind of got into the meat of the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I for CU, you were asking for Jared's opinions on like just takeaways from this weekend.
Yeah.
I think definitely one of the interesting ones is other goaltender besides Liam McGuinn, Matt Server for the Buffs. I can't find those stats from before the UCO game, but obviously had that one shutout, the 2-0 one, and had pretty decent stats, I would say. Obviously now goals allowed average 340, 926 save percentage, still pretty good.
Yeah, you can thank
overall.
UCO for that.
Well, yeah, those goals allowed on average.
We'll get to that in a minute.
But I think it's definitely important, especially in comparison to last year, how really last year once O'Gwen got injured, I wouldn't say Ethan James did a horrible job, but he wasn't, I think, what you're looking for as the team in a backup goaltender. And with, obviously it's still early on in the season, but with this, I think you can start to see some more reliability in net. Say you can go to O'Gwen if you need to. You can go to Server if you need to. Obviously, I think honestly UCO is really an exception. They're a tremendously tough team. So I think that's some good early indications, at least for goaltender for Colorado.
Yeah.
I think that shutout against Oklahoma was about 44 saves, if I remember seeing the stat sheet correctly. It was well above 40. So I mean, having a goalie that can put up a 40 save shutout's not a
42.
Not a bad thing to have on your
Yeah,
roster.
definitely 42 saves.
Well, and it being in conference play too, like that kind of makes some of that shutout more impressive because their non-conference schedule is SDSU and Oregon. That's it, and their home and away series against those two teams. So they've already played SDSU and Oregon once. So like I think it's gonna be really interesting to see what Matt Server can do because he's played every game on the road. O'Gwen, I don't even think O'Gwen has traveled with the team. It doesn't look like it considering that he hasn't played in a game on the road.
Yeah, no, actually, Server interestingly, in the 2 games against Oregon, the 2 games against Oklahoma, and then the one that he played but didn't finish versus UCO, total number of saves for each game in order, 45, 42, 42, 42, and then 17 before getting pulled. But I would say that's a pretty decent indicator of like, and the shots against in those games in total were 50, 44, 42, 45, and then he faced 22. So he's facing high shot counts and only allowing a few goals typically.
The only thing concerning is that the Buffs are letting up that many shots a game because that's
well.
That's hard to
That's
keep
kind of more of a
consistent.
defense thing rather than a thing against the goaltender. I mean,
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's just like that's still concerning seeing how many shots against. It's like, oh well.
Yeah.
I can't expect your goalie to make 42 saves every night, 45.
No, definitely.
this
But
could
it's also
be
still early-ish
Yeah.
in the season. They have time to figure that out, and because that was one of the points we were talking about for the UCO game, which sort of followed through. I would say is that just kind of structured defense that we're looking for.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a perfect way to segue away from the series that Toby Keith showed up at in Oklahoma. That still baffles me. He's going to see ACHA club sport hockey. Love it.
It's a blast.
Love it. But ACHA hockey, it is college hockey. As the Hockey House Pod and ACH Show Instagrams and Twitters will always say, ACHA hocky is college hockey. It is. Come and watch.
If you're looking for one, December 1st, CSU at CU. Right here.
Yep, that's they'll be back here right before Thanksgiving though. But yeah, I think that's good.
That's the big one, really.
Yeah, I think this is
rivalry wise.
Yeah, this is definitely a good time to now pivot to the UCO series. Which, oh man, it was kind of what we expected, but also they played a little better than I expected.
Better, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Which is hilarious to say in a series where you lose 7-1 and 8-2.
But I think that is an improvement over the 4 games last year.
Oh yeah, they lost by 7+ in every game. They got crushed. They didn't score.
One of them was
on the
11-1, wasn't it?
10-1 at home here. You guys
one of the
lost
away
that one.
ones.
I think they didn't score on the road. I think it was like 11-0. I think
Okay, that's worse. That's worse. That's worse.
I think it was like 11-0 and 10-0 or something like that. Like UCO smacked them.
I think the common theme in both the games. I wasn't at the second one, but I was at the first one. But it was a pretty close first period in both games. I'm pretty sure. I think after the first game,
we scored first in the second game.
I did see
and
that.
It was only 2-1 at the end of the first.
In the first
and 2-0.
The first game it was 2-0,
UCL.
and I think the Buffs were generating some chances. They just couldn't beat the opposing goalie Madge. Which interesting. Both goalies who started the first game, Matt Server and Austin Madge, were both from Oregon last year. So I thought that was just kind of a fun fact how both Ducks goalies found their way to a matchup in Boulder, but it was just
Quack quack.
it was 2-0 and 2-1. I thought they kept the games very close in that first period. It was just after that UCO just kind of was able to pull away.
Well, and I think the big telling is that they can hang with them, but for only 20 minutes. Like if the games lasted 20 minutes, they could hang with anyone. But because the games are 60 minutes and then you have the intermissions and then you kind of get tired throughout the game, UCO and their experience and their speed really kind of takes the toll on them. And the big problem that they had was just lack of opportunities offensively, and they couldn't get it out of their own defensive zone, leading to just the goaltenders being ambushed. Like Liam O'Quinn had an unbelievable performance.
He was fantastic game too. I know you weren't there, but he was unbelievable.
He had some unbelievable saves on Saturday in that 8-2 loss. Really
great
kept him.
Glove one, really instinctual double pad save.
He had a couple that really kept the game within reach for as long as he could. But
I would
it's like
say probably half an hour of the game time. Yeah,
when you're facing 50+, yeah, of course you're going to let in a bunch of goals.
What else are you going to do?
And of course, if some of those chances and some of those shots, the defense isn't really doing their part, so you get a guy just leaking right in the corner on a power play, dude, she's getting banging in every time.
I mentioned this over the weekend, but you keep. I'm personally of the opinion that you keep mentioning that it was really their speed, and I really don't think it was overall speed, because I think CU has some pretty good speed levels, especially with some forwards. Obviously, McConaughey, Pashenik's shown some great speed. Borgie has been really lights out a couple times.
Seeing Trunko's been
Trunko. I forgot about Trunko. Trunko is really easily able to just appear suddenly is in the offensive zone. So I don't think it was speed really, but I mentioned this. I remember it was just about tenacity, is what I said. Night 2 is in all areas of the ice. The Broncos were more tenacious on everything. They were hounding the puck in the neutral zone. They had great expertise at preventing down the wall clears by Colorado. They just would stuff up the boards along the half wall and up by the blue line, and they just basically just puck hunted whoever. It didn't matter who had the puck. They'd send 2, maybe 3 players to swarm them, and it didn't matter that they were kind of giving up some decent coverage defensively, because they knew that there's your speed plus your speed. They could get back and really kind of recover most of the chances they might give up.
I also think we've got to mention UCO is the 5th ranked team in the country.
well, that too.
I think we forgot to mention.
Don't worry about that. So
I think that's an important note. They're
top
very
ranked team
good
in the WCHL, which is impressive. UNLV is at number 5. UCO is number 1 in the preseason rankings last season. UNLV was number 1 at one point last year when they came to Boulder, but UCO, I think, is definitely the superior team, because if you look at compare the series between UCO here and then see what they did against UNLV last season, where Liam O'Quinn only started one of those games against the number 1 team in the country, and they lost 3-1, but they only let up 7 against UNLV in that second game, and they scored 3 times too. So I think that it's very interesting. I think UCO really still is the team to beat in the WCHL. They have been for a long, long time, and I think it's going to stay that way.
Well, we were talking about it on the stream on Friday night. Look how many places they pull players from.
Yeah.
What they had 5?
They had
4 or 5 Russians.
They had a couple Russians. I know they had a couple, but I know they had someone from Czechia. Blaha was from Czechia. But
and he was doing a lot the 2 games. He was everywhere on both ends of the ice.
He scored once. I don't know if he got in the point sheet at any other point, but I mean, that was
I'm not
some
talking
guy
about
that I
points. I
really
think
was
just-
kind of pointing out when it
just
comes
impact.
to speed. Yeah.
Speed. He was really fast, but he also was just like he would fly down the lane at you and then like not hold back. He would check you into the boards.
No, the fans got pissed off at him.
Oh, definitely. And but it worked to their advantage. They created so many turnovers. Anywhere on the ice didn't matter.
Well,
from
it's
that
like we're
type
not
of
even
thing.
mentioning like the 10 Canadians they have on the team.
Yeah.
Which
They
is-
just it's like
it's crazy.
Here's your here's your list of have fun. Where are you
they
from?
have like players from like almost every province, every notable province outside of like Quebec. But like, I think that's exactly also kind of part of why they've been so good for so long. Like they're not going to get them that many draws from Oklahoma and Texas. They have a couple players on that team, but they have a lot of variety, not only internationally but in the States as well. And I think that's a huge point when it comes to their skill and their talent. They're able to do a good job in bringing players to come play at UCO.
Well, I mean, yeah, they definitely have like a reputation.
Oh my
of
gosh,
just being good.
Well, yeah, no, they have a reputation. I mean, it was just a frustrating game to watch, and I think we can agree, Aiden, especially in that second game, the fans were not happy.
I want to bring something up about that because I got home just in time
They
to
were
turn
amped up
on
for
the
first
stream.
game. Though.
They were really
hyped up.
Well, well, unfortunately, not many people would know because we didn't have like the first half of the game.
Oh well. Well,
Okay.
But yes, the fans were very, very into it in the first period against UCO in that first game on Friday.
That second game, though, I turned it on just in time. Like I got home, I was able to turn it on. How are you able to overturn a goal without instant replay after letting the play go for about a minute?
Another
and
minute,
That's what I
I
was
was a
thinking.
little bit.
I was like, what? How do you overturn? Like either call it as it is or let it go? Because like,
That's
how are
what
you going
we
to
were
get
both
back
thinking.
together and return
If you have
after a
replay,
minute?
obviously, but
Yeah,
like
but
technically,
you don't.
the only ones with replay in that entire rink were us.
And I don't think we could tell it went in or not.
We have one camera
And
angle.
frankly, I don't think they were going to consult us.
No,
that's going to hold up the game. They don't want that. And
No,
we're not going to
no.
do that for
But
them.
like,
no.
after a minute and a half or however long played.
I know, like that's what we were saying.
How are you not?
I don't think it's going to count because they've been playing for so long after the
Yeah.
goal happened.
No, because obviously I've seen that in the NHL. They're like the Avs run for the Cup against Nashville. Burakovsky had a goal that just went literally right through the net, and they thought it was out. But they have the ability to go check
they have
that.
camera angles, they have replay.
They can go see that, and but they just don't have that here. And it's like
So that was interesting to me. I was like, it wouldn't have made a difference, but if it did,
based on like eyesight and memory, and it's just really tough to go on calls of that.
I thought my what I said on the broadcast
because I thought it was in.
Yeah. We talked to Joe, the guy who was running camera for us. He also said it was in.
I thought it was
I think
in,
Nick
but-
also said it was in. The social media manager that was there for us. I think pretty much everyone thought it was in.
I thought it was in. It's just so hard to tell because it made a post sound. It went right off the corner, so it made a ding sound. But
I feel like
after that much time's passed, I think you just gotta let it go.
But like I think
no,
the
like at that
only
point,
way
you just gotta stop it and be like, "Is this a goal? Yes or no?"
the only way that they probably would have had an idea was if they had the person. They probably had a ref down over there and they were watching the shot. They probably let the play go. But they had a ruling in their mind, probably.
I'm sure that
would assume,
but at that point,
that
you
has to be it.
At that point, they'd have to call it as it was. I feel like
because you definitely can do that. I mean, yeah, you can definitely like wait for next stoppage of play, obviously, and then call something.
For example,
but
if what if the Buffs went down and scored? What's he gonna do? Be like,
you
actually
call
scored.
back.
I think.
I mean, people would have been like, "Oh,
That's
uproar
well, they
about
were
that,
already irate enough when they called it a goal, but like they would have been absolutely livid if. Oh,
Well, I mean, without the technology, I feel like that was
it's
just so
tough.
odd for me to watch.
I
Yeah,
know.
there's just no definitive way to be like, was this for certain a goal? And
And what was really interesting is that they only stopped the play because a penalty was called, and they still enforced that penalty. So like, I think
yeah,
Quinn
that
made
was
a couple
that was
saves
the
during
weird thing.
He made a couple of big saves in that like minute period, and I was like, are those saves going to actually count?
Yeah,
towards
that was the
stat
weird
sheet?
thing.
Like, how are
Why would they
gonna-
still call the penalty if they're just gonna go back and like, does
rewind
that
time like a
exist?
minute?
Like,
It was interesting. I mean, look,
That
I
was
don't
an odd
think it wouldn't have made
decision.
it. It wouldn't have made like if it was a close game. I think that'd be even bigger of an issue. I just thought that was.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
was
obviously
odd.
it was like
Well,
What that was the
one,
fifth or
but-
sixth goal. I think.
considering that was early in the game and it gave them the lead 2-1.
Oh, that was the first period?
That was in the first period. It was the end of the first.
Oh,
it was
was the
1-1. It was
2-1
tied. So I feel like
it was pretty big. Yeah,
it was a
definitely.
pretty
Big
big
goal then.
ruling. And I'm pretty sure if CU's able to get to that get to the intermission only tied 1-1, I think that the entire mentality of them going into the second
That's
really
true.
changes. And I think that there's a lot that happens in
So
that
that's a
game
bigger
differently.
call than I thought it was, because I just thought it was odd, but like
No,
to
no,
make
no,
it a
no.
2-1 game, that's even crazier. It's like
No, it was when it was close, and we were up. Well, we were tied.
Yeah.
But still, being tied is far better than being down.
Yeah, and I totally
5,
butchered
6,
that
nothing.
call too, because I called the player the wrong person, and I got a couple people, just a few, saying that I got it wrong.
that's okay.
Nick was showing
There
me
were a
a
few of
couple
them,
of
yeah.
like he was getting messages on socials telling them that like the person who scored it was wrong, and then later that exact same person that actually did score it, someone told us that I was pronouncing his name wrong, so I was like,
Oh man. Well,
yeah.
Well, we got it right.
It's like I
If
want
we
to
got
get
it
it right.
eventually,
Yeah, it's
so.
like it's also just harder when you have the road team. So I don't know. It's just sometimes there's a couple names like Regan.
I mean,
kinda get a
we
bit
definitely
difficult, like-
definitely do our best with what we can
Well, we
do with
do
the
we do-
names, but
we know
yeah.
we know our players.
Well, I hope.
The
I hope we
funniest
know our
part
players.
was that there was a comment in the stream saying Mark and Kevin who when I referring to when I was saying Marcinkevichus' name. Mm-hmm. And I said it a bunch because of course he scored, and then he had like a bunch of, but like the people who were listening couldn't pick up that it was a foreign name, and they're like, what did he say? Is that Mark and Kevin who?
Maybe I have to run the lines on the top of the screen every time per period because he's
Start
there.
at every
You
period.
can see that's his name, but I
Yeah.
only run it once, so
Yeah.
Oh, that's who this guy is, number 26. Okay.
Yeah. I will
Second line
say what's
center.
actually pretty cool right now is that most of the players, some of the new players like Marcinkevichus, Pearson, Wood, all these new players, they're getting their names on the jerseys now, and I think that's actually pretty cool. More players on this team have the names on the back of the jerseys.
They're making it more recognizable, and they're by their own play even. They're making themselves really stand out. I think Marcinkevichus especially has been an outstanding player thus far. I don't think entirely on score sheet. No. He's one goal for 1
that was his
point.
first goal of the year.
But I know, congrats to him. But I think he especially has just been one of those players. A couple of the other ones definitely as well. But I think he's especially has been one of those players who've really just kind of shown up on whatever they're being asked to, whether that's just really irritating, the opponent's line that's out on the ice, back checking, forechecking heavy, making just like a trailer rush up the ice. They've just been like doing everything that they've been asked to and beyond in really, really great fashion
And
from what I've
it's
seen.
it's different than like Blevins or Farrow, where they kind of almost take a role where they're physical. That's
Yeah,
their
definitely.
style
That's
of
their,
play.
they're very adaptable.
Yeah.
A lot of these new players
And
I've
that-
noticed.
And that was something that I think all three of us noticed after that first game against SDSU. The new players on this team made a huge impact. Pearson,
Yeah, we were talking about that, I
Wood in
remember.
that second game when he came in. Issa, of course, he's kind of have a bit of a cold streak, but he's still got a presence.
But he's
yeah.
just had obviously you want to score and get points on the board. Of course, that's the obvious end goal. But I think a bigger part of that is they've really made just a positive minute by minute, shift by shift impact.
And those are like only the games we've seen as well, because I didn't catch any of the Oklahoma series.
Yep.
I saw a little bit of the Oregon series, but it wasn't
Exactly, you know.
wasn't the best quality that I was able to watch.
This is also our first
So-
chance to watch Josh Jenin. We got our first chance to watch Jenin. We got our first chance to see Mitchie.
Yep.
And honestly, Mitchie was someone who stood out to me because he kind of just played with an aggression, and he kind of had like a couple of good opportunities in that second game against UCO.
Who sent the player into the bench?
Oh,
forgot
I
about
saw
that. I
that,
forgot
and I was
about
like, oh man.
Oh, was
Ooh,
it Farrell?
I want to say it was Pashenik, but
Was it
I could be
Pashenik?
wrong. Do you remember when? I could pull it up. Do you remember
I
when
think it was right after a goal.
It was,
And, like,
that
the
was,
crowd
that
got
was great.
super into
now
it,
that you said
and then
Farrow,
UC
I think
almost
it might
scored.
have been Farrow. I'm gonna go.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Let me go on Twitter and try to find.
It was
this.
definitely someone. Did Nick cut?
Yeah, I believe
Screen
so.
cap it.
Which, by the way, shout out Nick Evans. He's been doing a great job on the socials. If you guys want to follow us, the Scope Up Sports account at SBS_CU.
For both of them, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah. And
obviously here on YouTube.
You're going to get a ton of great like clips from the games that Nick Evans is clipping during the game. He's been doing a great job on the socials for us. So shout out Nick.
I don't see him very much during period. I'm watching the game, but he's definitely like I check up on the Twitter and 100% doing some great work.
Yeah.
So really big thank you to that.
Yeah. So it's great so that we can go back and be like, here's the
here's what we were looking for. Thank you.
Did you find it, Jared?
I gotta look. The Dion press conference today is gonna make me look a little longer because all of those tweets.
Oh yeah.
But, so we got to see Jenin for the first time.
Bring
got
him to a
Mitchie.
home hockey game.
Oh my gosh, that would be
get Sanders over here.
Oh my gosh,
for the CSU one, you know.
Do you have any idea?
Get him over for the CSU one.
That'd be awesome.
Oh my gosh,
that would actually be really really huge.
That would be.
Maybe we can.
Well, I mean, you've seen the hockey team's been doing a great job of promoting everything. I mean, you saw like
this year especially. Actually, there's been a lot. I think a lot more people, especially attending games. Yeah, the big noon thing.
Well, they got actually my friend who's in one of my classes, and the guy who kind of went up to us before the game.
Yes.
Andrew. He's one of the I forget exactly what his role is, but he's on the staff. And he actually was the one who gave Mark Ingram the jersey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For and then they got that posted on social media and whatever.
Like, they had a bunch of players from the team like Trunco and a couple of the other guys. I think I want to say Borgie was there. I don't remember exactly. And like they all took a picture with him and whatnot. Like they've done a really good job at promoting stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely holding up the jerseys, getting it at least some semblance on TV. I think the social medias been better, like whether that be graphics, just general posting. I like, honestly, I follow them on TikTok too, and
TikToks are fun.
Whoever's running the TikTok media page is doing a great job. I'm really loving some of the questions they just be asking them, some of the just little 5-second, 10-second things they're making. I think they've been really, really good, honestly.
Do the other two teams have pages like that?
A little bit.
I think definitely off the top of my head, the women's one.
The women's team, I would assume they definitely do.
The men's D2 definitely has an Instagram.
They have an Instagram.
But I just know the D1 men's team is usually pretty active on really all of the main social medias that I can think of, honestly.
All right, I've done enough stallings. Jared,
I can't find it.
You can't find it?
No, I know it's on here somewhere.
All
but
right.
I can't find it.
While you look at that, do you Aidan, you want to quickly talk about the D2 Denver game that happened? Nothing really much. I mean, you guys were there and watched the only Denver game that they had at home. Like, are you really surprised that they fell 4-1 in Denver? I'm guessing is more what I'm trying to ask.
Yes, and also no. It seems with the D2 team really that Denver just kind of always most of the time has their number. I think they won one of the 4 games last year. I think that was also a 4-2.
It was the only one that we broadcasted.
Well, that's convenient. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, that's convenient. I think it was a 4-2 win if I'm correct. Last year, I want to say it was, I think the winning team scored 4 each time, but I could be slightly off on that. But it just seems like typically DU just kind of has just that number of CU, and they're not really able to somehow figure out an answer to them. So that's why I say yes and no. Because yes, just because I think this D2 team is definitely pretty good. They have some good contributors and whatever. I know I've talked about Santos a ton.
Yeah, you really like Santos and the way he plays.
I think he's been playing phenomenal. But also yes, just no, just in part. got there. No, just in part, just because of how we've shaped up against DU and how we're continuing to shape up against DU, and it just really seems to be that team in particular that we just cannot get past.
And this game was not an issue of they couldn't shoot the puck. The game was they both teams were able to shoot. According to the ACHA website, CU had 43 shots, Denver had 44.
Yeah, so, definitely
very even. So I don't know. We didn't get a chance to really watch that game, so only really we can figure out it's more just chances rather than good just shots and more good chances that each team had.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, you found it.
It was fair. It was fair.
It was fair.
Yeah. You're gonna have to throw this one into the
I wanna watch it
podcast,
again.
Alex.
Yeah,
It's so much fun to watch. You're gonna have to throw this clip in.
Yeah.
Wait, here. I'll watch it again. You can time it up.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Let me bring the mic over here. There we go. We've got so it was 5-1 at that point. With just over 4 minutes left in the period, and bam, there we go. Right in. Beautiful hit.
Will that be included on the Scopa Sports Play of the Week poll? I think we can.
It could.
It could be.
It could. I'm not the one who runs that. So.
Omen of the week for sure. Let's go.
Well, and it's
interesting
because they celebrated it.
Nope.
There was that play that Pharaoh had that big, check into the bench, and then I think that was late in the third or middle of the third, right?
4.5 minutes left in the second.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, it was 5-1. Yeah, just over 4.5 left.
So
in the
around
second.
that same time in the third period, Mitchie was on the side. Remember that, right? That frenzy that just put the crowd into just an absolute frenzy.
Oh yes, yeah.
Mitchie,
I do.
he got hit in an awkward angle, and the contact was kind of on his head, and he hit the boards right next to the fans.
Yeah, actually, I do remember that.
And they didn't call that, and then just moments later.
Yes, they called the same penalty. Literally 10 seconds later.
Hilarious. Pearson gets tripped up by Zach Guerra of UCO, and then Guerra comes back as he trips up Pearson to make him lose puck, and then Brody Pearson trips up Guerra, and then he gets called, and the fans absolutely lost it.
I was mid explaining to Jared as this second penalty happens.
Alex.
Yes, you're Alex. My bad. I was mid explaining to Alex. I was literally. That could have been a tripping penalty right there had Pearson fallen. He managed to stay on his feet on one skate. Yeah. So impressive balance and reaction time there. And I was like midway through saying, I was like, that could have been a penalty right there had he just fallen, and it had the exact same kind of loose hit happens, and the guy decides to fall, and whoop, then arm up, penalty call. And I was like, there you go.
Fans absolutely lost their mind. They were losing it at the end of that game because of that hit on Mitchie and that tripping call, and then the missed one prior. I think they missed another call.
And there was that whole the whole scrum on Ogwen's side of the ice where he got clipped in the mask by a stick, and then I forget what they called on us, but they called something on us.
Something on Gosnell at the end of the second. He kind of put the defender in a bit of a headlock, but the defender in question also
fully high stick to whacked him in the mask.
So it was. I mean, we can sit here and complain about this all the time.
I mean, it's already happened. But
do we really think that us getting all of those calls really would have changed the outcome at all?
No, definitely. Well, because
I just wanted to see someone go into the bench again.
Well, no, because UCO has that 93%. I think
they scored a couple
penalty kill.
Every goal that CU scored in the series was a power play goal.
Yeah, not one.
They'd only let up one before the series.
Yeah,
they were near perfect.
So good power play for they had 10 opportunities game one. So fine power play for CU in this series, but no, I think it was 93%.
They were 97
penalty
the
kill.
Started.
Yeah, for UCO, and CU's power play was, I want to say, something around 12.5% maybe.
Oh yeah.
So just there wasn't much of a match there on special teams. So I don't think it would have changed the game in the slightest.
Yeah. So I don't really know. It's been a bit of a rough week. Rough couple weeks. The D1 win against Oklahoma has been the only win any of these teams have had in the last 2 weeks. Because now I think this is now the time to switch to the women's team. They played 4 games all on the road. They were in North Dakota to play Jamestown, North Dakota, and they dropped both those games. And then they go to Illinois to play McKendree, and they lose both those games. And they played better in the second game, but those first games, man, they were tough. First game against Jamestown, they lose 6-1. Someone on Jamestown scores 4, and they only scored in the last 2-3 minutes, and that was it. So, I mean, Mia Faselli got the only goal in that game, and it was her first with the Buffs, shorthanded, but they're down 6-0 at that point already.
No, there's not a ton of possibility for that there. You're down already, and just not an overall great showing. I would say, but it's kind of what it is. Not a great showing, really.
They played a little better the next day. They only lost 4-2, but still, it's just tough. It's just a tough series. And then they go to McKendree, and then in that first game, I checked in on it just a little bit. We were getting ready for the show, the live show that we do every Friday, and I was just checking in on it, and they were down 12-1 in the third. That would be the final score, but oh my gosh, 4 periods in the first, 5 in the second, 3 in the third. I mean, that's just brutal.
Goals?
We started
You mean?
Goals. Yeah.
Goals.
Yeah, so beer.
I'm glad
I heard that too.
we got you. Said 4 periods in the first.
Oh my god. Yeah, so
A lot of goals.
looks like Beer Bomb started the game and got pulled, and then Watson finished the game. So it looks like Beer Bomb let up 7. Yeah, 7.
Alex,
yeah.
is your computer okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been doing this for
buzzing
a
in
while.
our ears.
There's
I know,
a
buzzing.
whirring. I've been trying not to
is
laugh
buzzing.
at it.
I know. It's
gotta
having its
calm down.
yeah. It's having it's going through it right now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with it. I really don't.
But yeah, no, it's
Close up.
not a
It's gone. We did it.
a tough
Let's
stretch
close
for the women's team. It's not going to get easier because ASU, the team that won the WWCHL, is the next opponent, the next 2 matchups.
Yeah, and we
Here in
had a
Boulder.
fun time covering them. That team, I think, specifically in that tournament last April.
That's February.
February.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
February.
Okay, my
Yeah,
my bad.
they,
It was, I think the week before the final CSU game.
Yeah,
yes, it was
and
for the
they
D1.
were-
Yes, you're right.
They just looked so dominant.
And I think they're off to a pretty good start this year as well. So
They were really good
We'll
against
have
what was
to,
it? Utah, CSU, and
Grand Canyon.
GCU. Yeah.
Grand Canyon.
Which GCU, let's
And
see.
yeah, you're right. They looked fantastic in that.
I mean,
and still do.
I think they struggled a bit in when they made it to nationals, but they made it to nationals.
Yeah.
I don't think they won a game while they were there over in Boston, but they're still probably the team to beat in the WWCHL.
Yeah, we've said it numerous times.
And
They are the
there's-
team to beat, but I don't think there's really a clear favorite for number 2.
And there's 2 matchups against
So, yeah, up for the
against the
taking,
Sun
definitely.
Devils this weekend. So we'll see how the women's team responds to that because
Yeah,
they've
two
already had
against
4
ASU and 1 against Denver.
one against Denver.
Because Denver was what, the winners 2 years ago?
Denver-
no, Colorado
no,
was the
no,
winner 2
oh,
years
my
ago.
bad. I'm
That,
sorry.
they won
Denver-
the BMHC.
No,
I think
I was
they
like,
get
Denver was something. Denver was
Yeah,
something.
BMHC.
But-
yeah, they're good in the
So
BMHC.
the women's team
Yeah.
has 3 games this weekend, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Friday.
Yep.
So I think we'll be covering all of those.
Yep. We'll get it.
The
we'll
9
get
a.m.
those for
games
you.
are kind of painful, but it's fun.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, CU is 1-5 now, and their only win is against Montana State, and they only won that game 4-0. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play. It's their first conference games of the year, so it's a clean slate. It's non-conference schedule. You don't really know what they're going to do in the WWCHL, but I mean, there's a bit of a concern here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to let early opportunities like that slip by you.
Here's the thing: the way their postseason works, they just got to be a top 4 team.
Yeah.
They have to beat out 2 teams, and that's it.
And what's interesting is
And
they
once you
determine
make-
everything by win percentage. It's not by it's by conference record, but it's win percentage. It's not like points.
So once you get there, that's all that matters. Because if you can get that 4th spot, I think CSU got the 4th spot this
Yep.
year,
Yes.
and they put up a fight.
They did really well,
They
actually.
nearly got to the champion. They don't let up that goal in the 3rd period.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
That's it. They go to the game against
So
ASU the next.
all you
one.
gotta do is make it, and then anything's there. But it's gonna have to be a turnaround sooner rather than later to claw your way back
Yeah,
into
definitely.
that one.
These opportunities you have to take to get back in that point
It's safe to
percentage
say-
mix and race.
It's safe to say they probably need to win every game that they should win. That they probably need to. They probably need to win most games. that they
Well,
get.
yeah, there you go. No margin for error is.
Okay.
Alex with the math.
They
The
probably need
math
to
out
win most games.
They need to win every game they should win, and every game they shouldn't win. It's okay.
Well,
They lose.
mainly because I'm trying to say they're only
Yeah.
trying to be top 4, so it's like, okay, if they drop both these to ASU, that's kind of expected. They're the best team in the
Yeah.
conference, but they probably should beat teams like Denver. They probably should beat CSU, but Denver's off to a good start.
And
They're
CSU,
they're
I'm pretty sure
and
CSU's off to a pretty good start as
they
well.
are 3-2-1-1. So they have a tie. They have a tie in there.
I hate ties.
Okay.
Tell me
so
about it.
Yeah.
Denver's still up there on top.
But Denver's looked really good
has
this
struggled
year.
though. GCU has struggled. They haven't won a game yet.
So it's
Denver tied with Utah.
It's
actually.
interesting.
Utah was in that Final Four last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting because there's still a lot of time left, obviously, and I don't know. I don't know if anyone really knows because the teams that were at the bottom or Denver was at the bottom last year, and now they're off to a hot start. Obviously, Arizona State's off to a hot start, and GCU looked really good last year.
GCU was really good.
Now they
Pulled
don't
their
have a
way-
win.
Yeah, pulled their way through
Yeah,
to
they
that
haven't won a game
championship
yet this year.
And they had the nicest parents, in my opinion.
Well, that's what's important.
Okay, I mean,
They could have had more
gotta do
purple
it all
on
in
their
style,
uniforms,
right?
I think. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know. There's still a lot of hockey left, but it should be interesting to see what happens this weekend.
There we go. A lot of hockey left.
Because they're playing. That could not have been
Whole
more
lot of hockey
cliche.
left.
But
That's okay. I forget.
they have 3 games this weekend, so we'll have to see what happens. I think this weekend could be a big tell of moving forward, just seeing how the games go.
And a big opportunity, like you said a
Yeah.
couple minutes ago, to get make up some of that point deficit back and get further within.
Yeah, so we'll have to
reach.
see. That's the only team that's home this weekend. Where are the other teams? D2's making a California road trip, right?
yep, they're going to be going with me to LA because I'll be in LA going to root for the Buffs in the Rose Bowl.
D1 I know is off.
Yeah, that's
D1
right.
is off for
That's
2
true.
weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks is it? Oh,
Remember? I thought it was 1 week too.
Right, because
And
this
then
week would be Halloween, and then
Next
Halloween, and then
week is
the
the
next week
first
is
week.
probably the next week's the 4th and 5th of November. Yeah, okay, so
And then they
end
play
there.
the 10th and 11th against Utah. So
They-
they get 2 weeks
They
off.
kindly did not schedule a single home game while the football team was home.
Well, that is also
Which I
well. All
appreciate.
3 teams have done that.
That's true. It's awesome.
So we had these are our
Good
last
for you
home
and the band.
well,
Yeah.
well, it is very nice now, considering that we have these games here this weekend for the women's team, and that's it until the week, pretty much right when Thanksgiving break starts. That weekend, the D2 team and the D1 team both have 2 home games.
okay.
Who's D2 against? Because I know D1 is against Missouri State. On the,
D2
17th,
has
18th?
Metro State, which I think
okay.
you guys wanted to cover the Metro State road game the Friday night before.
I
I
can do that. I live right there. I'm down the street from the promenade. So
I'd have to go down there, but I think it'd
only
be fun to
15
do.
minutes.
I think
you
it'd be
guys have
definitely fun to
time.
do.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So they got Metro State.
I've even planning my flight around this. I'm gonna leave after these games are done to get home for Thanksgiving. So I'm
Same here.
ready for more hockey.
Same here. So D2 team will play Metro State at home the next weekend when they play Missouri State. So they'll probably play before them. And they still haven't moved it. I think we got to go and confirm with the D2 team. Maybe they can confirm it right now. They have a game scheduled against Idaho State on November 18th.
Okay.
Are you playing Idaho?
Let us know.
Tell us.
know.
Thank you. Hope you see this.
But yeah, so I'm excited for more hockey.
And then, of course, after Thanksgiving, they got the women's team's got GCU, while the D1 team has CSU. And then the D2 team has a one singular game against Texas.
Yeah, the CSU series, and especially that one game, I'm looking forward to.
That is gonna be really interesting.
The 2 home games last year for me, it was so fun, packed house.
I would love to see the
packed
fans show
everything.
up the way they do to the D1 men's team, the CSU games there. I'd love to see them show up the way that they do for those games, for the D2 games against CSU.
Definitely,
that would be awesome.
And we were just talking about how GCU hasn't won a game yet for the women's.
that could be a big series.
depending on how they are in month and a half ish time.
month
Yeah,
and a half,
that could be a big swing in terms of points for Colorado.
Well, and the women's team doesn't play after this weekend. They don't play until then. They're
Yeah,
off,
and
like, the next
that's
month.
something to like keep your mental focus game on. Can you come out after not playing for 4 weeks and do what you really should be doing and win?
Yeah. Anything else about the teams?
I don't really have much else. I'm actually really looking forward to
done
see
with
what's-
hockey now. He
No,
2 minutes ago, ready for more.
No, I'm not done with hockey. But on Friday night, we had a conversation for about 4 minutes while there was a break in the play, and I never got your actual answer. So let me just brief everyone. I asked the question: would you it's like a Thursday night adult league.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, this isn't factual. This is actually.
Would you rather lose a game 4-0 or 10-6? Either way, you're losing by 4 goals.
This did not happen to Jared last Thursday night.
No, it
definitely didn't happen.
But which one would you rather have? 10-6 or 4-0?
The one where you assisted in. The one where you got an assistant.
Well, that was obviously the 10-6 one.
Yes.
So you'd rather lose 10-6 than 4-0. Granted, it's a low level of hockey. It's literally an adult league on Thursday nights.
Again, hypothetically. Could be Wednesdays, but like Thursdays.
Sometimes you get an occasional Wednesday game. But so you'd rather 10-6, Alex?
Yes, genuinely, yes. I'd take a 10-6.
Because you scored 6 goals. Letting up 10 goals is terrible.
Well,
but you scored 6 goals,
your main focus then is on the defense rather than the offense. So I think it's like you can find ways to beat the goaltender.
Yeah. So I realized I am the problem. I was on offense for the 4-0 loss and defense for the 10-6 loss.
Oh, Jared. Oh no.
So
oh no, Jared.
I'm gonna take blame. 10-6 or 4-0 because we got a lot of roar in our chat about this too. We had people who are like actually arguing.
We had a couple.
Yeah. So I'm genuinely curious because like you lose by 4 either way. That's the thing.
Can I be the team winning 10-6?
I wish.
Can I be that team?
No.
Can that be my answer?
No. I wish I was that team right now.
Hypothetically.
Yeah.
I would probably go 10-6. If you're the losing team, man, 4-0. That sucks.
I think there's more you can take away.
Yeah, got scored on 4 times, didn't do anything on offense, and it was just whatever. But at least 10-6, we let up 10 goals, but ignore that. We scored 6. It's okay. We still had fun scoring 6. I think that's probably the better.
It wasn't fun either way. Actually.
Well, okay. How many hypothetically goals were you down before you started scoring more? Did you blow the a 6-something lead?
No.
Or were you down 8-0?
It was close. It was close early. Then they pulled away, and then we kind of came back.
Okay, so I think that's the better game then. Yeah.
So here's the real question.
A semblance of false hope was there.
Jared.
Yeah.
What is your pick? What is better, 10-6
hypothetically,
or 4-0?
What did you prefer?
I actually didn't prepare to answer this myself. I think neither are fun. Actually, I'll put that out there because
as the one who
10-6 team, not
as the one who played in the games.
Yeah, neither were fun.
Which one was not? Which one was?
Because on 10, because I was. Let's see, I was probably a -1. So I was out for half of the goals in the 10-6 loss. It's not like I was out for all 10.
Well, we know plus minus is obviously the best indicator of
obviously
how well people are doing.
I know, Jared, I know you're the biggest fan of that stat.
No, here's the thing. Don't get me started. 10-6, probably 10-6, because I think I played better in the 10-6 game than I did in the 4-0 game. The 4-0 game, I was just chasing in the defensive zone. We were getting worked. The 10-6 game, at least we kind of generated some chances. I think I had more fun in the 10-6, blocked a couple shots.
Yeah, see, again, if you can't do anything in that 4-0 game, it's just it wasn't a bore fun. For you. I
did almost score a goal, but the goalie did save it, which stunk.
Well, if we look at that 4-0 score, I wouldn't be surprised about that.
Yeah, so 10-6, I'm going to pick the 10-6 just because I felt like I overall played better in the 10-6 game than the 4-0 one.
What game do you pick? That's the real question.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, I'm really intrigued.
Jared wants to know.
Hopefully,
do it for Jared.
Hopefully, we win the next game.
Everyone's going to be 4-0 specifically because I want Jared to have a bad time. All of your games are going to be 4-0 now.
Man, I hope not. I'm told it's going to get better. I think we played the number 1.
I'm told it's going to get better.
We looked at the standings, and we played the 1, 2, and 3 team in the league out of 16 teams.
Oh, okay.
So,
what are you ranked?
Well, I'm pretty sure at the bottom. I didn't look it up. But a goal differential's not great either. So I'm hoping it gets better. Yeah. You have to imagine. I mean, you can't play the top 3 team every week.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping it does get better.
Maybe win a game or two. Maybe win a game 10-6.
No, I think we can win a couple more. It's just, it's early season. I haven't played competitively in a while.
The big update is when 6 weeks from now we're gonna come on here and Jared's gonna be like, okay, guys. We can't talk about hockey yet. I won a game 4-0, and it's going to be greatest thing ever.
I'm off this week, but next week I'll let you know in 2 weeks what happened because hopefully it's a win.
Yeah,
I'm ready to win. I hate losing more than anything else.
I think I've kind of picked up that.
You
picked that
and
up.
Connor Bedard.
Yeah, I hate losing.
Also, both
would
you
you have
think
done
that
I got
hockey's
my
fun?
first point, but like, I lost, like dead set face.
You and
know.
Bedard
I'm
are
a
also the same
smiler.
because you also just say I like hockey.
Okay, I don't like this comparison because like it's not fair to Connor Bedard. It's really not.
Connor Bedard versus Jared Miller. Who wins
Who
in
wins?
the stats department? I feel like you currently are winning in the stats department.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I only got 2 points this season.
He has 2 goals.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
like, I had like 1 goal. Oh, all
I
right,
know
you're
he has
tied.
at least 3
You're
points.
tied. Oh, because you got an assist, right? All right, well, you're losing. Sorry.
I did have a great time at a charity hockey tournament this weekend. That's why I wasn't at the game on Saturday. Shout out Dog Nation.
Dog
Hockey
Nation.
Town teams.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Check it out.
That was fun this summer.
We missed the championship on a tiebreaker. Oh yeah, you showed up to the
the
summer
dog
the dog bowl in the
yeah,
summer.
That was fun.
I
So-
would have, but I was,
Shout out
I
Dog
was
Nation.
out.
I had a great time interning for them this summer, and
You were there everywhere. Every time I walked in, you were like bustling.
I was there
around
for
doing
like
5
18 hours a
things.
day for 5 days. It was awesome.
I got to come like drive an hour there and be like, I'll call a game for like an hour and then.
Yeah, but it was fun. So shout out Dog Nation.
I
Anything
really
else?
wish I could have been there.
Just be there this summer.
Well, we'll see.
Actually,
We'll see.
I'll also see.
And that was really, what's his name? Manny Furtado, I think is
Yes.
his name. Yeah, that was cool to see because like right after I'd done that, the NHL awards were going on and they
He was
nominated.
Martin Richardson.
Oh.
There it is.
or
Who are you talking?
the organizer of the whole
Yeah,
all the
Martin
dog-
Richardson.
Okay, my bad then. Yeah, it was cool to because I met him, shook his hand and everything.
And then you see him on the NHL
along with Scott Mayfield. Woo. Yeah, and then I see him like 2 days later on NHL awards night, like here he is, 13th year of Dog Bowl, and I was like, wow, I just did that. That's cool. Hey man,
Yeah.
just met you like 2 days ago.
So, anything else?
I think we've kind of exhausted the conversation here.
Well, yeah, no, I think we're going for a pretty
Alex
good
hates our
amount of
presence.
time.
Yeah. No, it's been a good episode. Thanks, Aidan, for coming
Yeah,
by.
thank you.
Yeah, no, of
Great.
course. This was fun. I got to liven it up. I watched your other 2, and it was like, you guys were fine actually. No.
Okay.
No invite back.
We're
but-
catching the strays now. Okay.
I'm gonna text you guys like next Monday. Be like, we doing one this week? No,
No, we're not doing it
not
this
allowed.
week. Sorry.
You're not allowed. I'm gonna like see the video pop up on like Thursday.
You're gonna make the thumbnail for us.
That's true. They're gonna be like, Aidan, can you do week 4?
You were
sorry you weren't
invited,
there,
but-
like,
Sorry
can you
we
do
told
week
you
4
we
for
weren't
us?
doing it, but we just kind of changed plans really late. We just went into the studio. We just went into the booth and did it. Like, sorry.
Here's the thumbnail
Forgot-
anyway.
yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, well, thank you all for tuning into this episode of Dangle, Snipe, and Stampede. We're just getting started. And I guess we'll see you guys next time on Scope of Sports.